Well, hello and welcome to PM Express. And what else? It's the GFA and matters arising. And I'm sure by now you know about it. If you haven't heard about this, then you must have dropped from a strange planet. But however, more ministers are being implicated in the same trial. But then there's another twist. Why today the police called the Deputy Minister for Roads to come and assist with the investigation where allegedly Kwesi Nyantakyi was supposed to be, defrauding by false pretense. He went there, and Parliament is not happy that, look, due process was not followed, and that they should have written to the Parliament, probably seek permission from the Speaker before it all happens. But some legal luminaries are saying, no, you can't. You can, call the MP and ask him to come, and if he wants to come, it's got nothing to do with Parliament. And then we look at the legal implications of what Kwesi Nyantakyi did. I mean, has he flouted the law? Was he just boasting? Is there any, legal substance here that can be taken to court? What then happens? We will find out by the end of the show. Stay tuned. My name is Nana Nsakwa, the fourth Chief of the Little Republic of Akwamwedumasa. When I come back, we're looking at sports and legal matters. Don't go. Thank you for staying, and this is the part that we all wait for when we get into the nitty-gritty of the substance. In studio is Kojoga Adawudu, Ghana's own maître vegeuse. Ghana's own maître vegeuse. Lawyer, thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure, and to always be here.
And you're welcome. And on the phone is Nana Fitz, who's a veteran sports journalist. Nana Fitz, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Good. Nana, hold on for me. I'll start with a lawyer in the studio, and then I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Great. Lawyer, this case is, so 1 minute Anas does his undercover things. The next minute we hear the president watch some snippets of the tape. He was mentioned that apparently Mr. Nyantakyi was telling some friends of his that, look, I have links to the president. If you give me a certain amount of money, I can grant you access. President reports to the police, says maybe I'm not happy with this comment. Police invite Mr. Nyantakyi. He travels in, goes to the CID. Let's start from there. I mean, what went wrong there, or what's the case here?
Yeah, good evening, and good evening to our cherished viewers. This is a story which is developing, is unfolding. The reason why I'm saying it's unfolding is that we do not have all the facts of the matter. We've just been given some bits and pieces or snippets of information as to what was captured on that documentary, as to what it is alleged that Mr. Nyantakyi was saying to some, or representing to some people. Until we see the documentary, that is when we can confirm and say that yes, this is what was said, and this was what misrepresentation was made, or personation, where he put himself in the shoe, saying that, making some representations that he knows very well that at the time he was making that, he will not be able to get the people what it is. Also, maybe he knows that at the time he was making that, it was false. That's what he was doing. So until we watch the whole documentary, it's difficult to analyze and distill the elements that would form But I'm sure the people who have had the benefit from the presidency are saying that what they have seen, there's a prima facie evidence that is committed. That is where I have my little worry, reservation, in the sense that it is only the investigative body or the police that have been, and the Attorney General, that have been given that power to make a charge after investigating. So when a charge is being slapped on you, it is by these bodies. But when the complainant and the people around the complainant comes in and say that we have looked at it, on the face of it, when we say prima facie, it's just a legal jargon from the Latin, which says that on the face of it, when you look at it, it is presented to somebody who is a layman. He thinks that you need to answer some questions. So that is my worry, that when a complainant now tends to be a judge in his own cause and saying that this is the charge I think it should be, that's where my reservation is.
Let me ask a layman question. I mean, we all know that the president, I mean, it's like you. I mean, when it comes to law, I dare not argue with you. So if you come and say that, look, Nana, I've looked at this case and I think you have a case, can I say, oh, no, because the Attorney General hasn't looked at it or some CID hasn't seen it, there's no way Victor can tell me that, there's a case here to be answered?
No, you can say that you think that, because they would have to look at the matter, they would have to go to court and prove, and for every crime to be a crime, there are elements you need to look for. So a crime, let's say with this one, there are 3 things maybe you might be looking for. That there was intention to defraud, that intention to make sure that somebody would dole out money or a consideration, something of valuable. 2, there was intention also to make a misrepresentation which the person knows is false, and what he's saying at that time, it was not in existence, right? So if these 3 things, you cannot really find it. And this matter is also a little bit dicey in the sense that this is a documentary film that will have to be shown to the populace. If the people who have had the benefit comes and say that this is the charge we think should be laid, at the end of the day, if the investigative bodies and Attorney General do not find those elements to charge the person with that charge, then it's contradictory. What do you say now? Do we say that the tape has been doctored, something has been edited, that for the benefit of the public, we haven't seen it, the investigative bodies haven't even also seen those elements within? That is why you need to hasten slowly, because now you've said that if we watch and we don't see that with our eyes, the legal eyes, we don't see anything, or the investigators don't see that, it comes back to say that maybe something was done to the film at the presidency, or once they've had the benefit of it, something has been doctored. That's why we should have hastened slowly, let the investigators go do the investigation, then if they will have any charge. So yes, you may suspect that this may be, that's why the police, even every day when they arrest people with, I'm using this advisedly, they see weed or the cannabis, they tell you that they suspect that to be. They don't tell you that straightforward, that, or they tell you that they suspect some whitish substance, because they need to do further investigations to find out.
Let me go to Nana Faith. Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Good. Nana, it's interesting times for Ghana football, definitely.
Yes.
Do you think there are 2 schools of thought? One those who think there's going to be a total shake-up in the football fraternity, and there are those who think that, listen, Mr. Nyantakyi is very resilient and he will carry on as, business as usual. I mean, where do you belong?
Well, I think at this time of the game, we should do another complete overhauling.
Even at the risk of FIFA punishing us?
No, FIFA won't punish us. Why would FIFA punish us? You know, FIFA too has the rules, and we don't know the rules. You see, first we have to write a letter to tell FIFA the reason why we want to massage the rules a little bit, you know, and FIFA will tell us. I don't think FIFA will appreciate the fact that a president of association will get involved with the position that Kwesi Nyantakyi finds himself in. So whatever it is, I think we should explain the situation we have in this country to FIFA and do complete overhauling in our football games, because we cannot sit down here and let the thing go as the way it is now. It's rather unfortunate.
Then I see, until it goes through court for a judge to say that, okay, yes, you are right or wrong, how would we appeal to FIFA and say that, look, we think the boss is doing something wrong, so get him out of there because we saw the video and we were not happy. So how are we going to treat that?
No, we are not going to tell FIFA that the boy has done wrong until he goes to court.
Mm-hmm.
But the court will say that he's wrong. Nobody will say that he's guilty. Nobody will say that he's guilty. What we ought to tell court that, look, at this time, look at this scenario. This time we don't even have a vice president. Mm-hmm. I think it was yesterday or something that I heard that they met and then they have appointed the vice president. So we don't have a vice president. The president who won't have time to do this. And we don't even know whose name is going to be mentioned on the stage. So what I was thinking of, if we can put some ice on the whole FA matter and appoint interim committee members to run the affairs until we get all this mess settled. You know, what is happening right now directly don't have anything to do with football. But the referees were mentioned. And I'm surprised that the referees, a disgrace that was put on them. I'm surprised that they have not said anything. They're supposed to have association. They're supposed to have the officers, the chairman, the vice chairman, coming in, all of them. And they have not said anything. So right now, what we have to do is, look, if we wait for people to come and tell us the way we do, I think we'll be in bad shape. People don't know what is happening in Africa. So everybody in this country is aware of the state that we are in, so far as football is concerned. So we take action and then we consult people.
No, but the GFA has released a statement saying that they are, fully in support of the president. So, I mean, that's a dicey one.
Say it again, please.
The GFA has released a statement saying that they fully support the president, i.e. Mr. Nyantakyi.
You see, GFA statement is rather unfortunate. I disagree with them. I don't even know why they wrote that, because nobody, at this time that I'm talking to you, nobody has come out to say that Kwesi Nyantakyi is not the president, or they have dismissed Kwesi Nyantakyi as the president, or this thing. No. Kwesi Nyantakyi, somebody has accused Kwesi Nyantakyi of something, and nobody has touched. So why would FA come up and then provoke the situation that we are with him, we are this, we that? Why do we say this? And nobody. I don't think where we have seen so far has anything to do with Kwesi Nyantakyi being sacked or resigned or anything. So what are they talking about? What are they talking about? I don't want a situation where we have to get the matter on radio. We don't use radio, or we don't use newspaper, radio, people on the street to judge what is very important, what is very serious case. This is a very serious case. So I don't know what FA is. Why are they saying this?
Nana, hold on for me 1 second. Nana raised an issue that, look, we can appeal to FIFA that, listen, we're not happy with this guy. He's done A, B, C, D, and kick him out. And I was just trying to find out, is it possible? Because, then how do we say because we personally are not happy with this?
I think there are two things here with Nana, what he said. In the first place, he's a citizen of this country. Our constitution makes it clear that until the court has proven him guilty, he's not guilty. as it is now, is an allegation against him. So he still has a right. Secondly, there had been some precedents. When Sepp Blatter was, there were allegations of corruption against Sepp Blatter. I think FIFA itself saw it deemed it fit to let him step aside for some time until they when changes were made. I think it is a right of Kwesi Nyantakyi to say that, look, with these allegations, if he's going to give me a blot or a dent on my career, right, I really want to step aside and fight this and clear myself from people to know that it is not true. FIFA's rule also, at the end of the day, is subjected to our constitution. So I believe it is for the FA itself to look at it, like where the statement that come, the FA has taken a position already in this matter that we support him. We will solidify our positions with him, that he's our president. That suggests or indicates that there should have been some division or some faction within, which is saying that, look, we think he should step aside. Others are saying that no, it should. So it's a developing story that is coming, and that's what I can say. But for me, they should look at what happened from even at the top FIFA. It's a precedent. When Sepp Blatter was, the allegations came in, what was done, and I think we can learn from the best practices. But what happens if he now steps aside and he's not found to be guilty? What happens? Can he come back and take his position? I think that there's going to be elections very soon. With all this hanging around him as an albatross, what happens to his career? I think that when the full story develops and we see it, I believe that it will be shown on the 6th and 7th of June. We'll be in a better position to opine or speak on this, analyze the whole situation. So it is for the GFA, and I think that this matter also is a public interest matter, because we have always been under the clock and the notion that GFA is untouchable. Things happening in there is sacred. Nobody goes in there. But we had seen from the top that until Sepp Blatter's issues came up, so it is not like GFA is isolated from what happens here. It is better they look at it and say, what image are we going to have for ourselves as an institution? Because people's perception about us, do we open up for people to see that all that has been said about us are preconceived, and that's not the people we are? Or we are being given a bad name to a dog and hang the dog. So it is entirely left in their hands. How will the image will be projected? And I think this situation, if they don't manage it well, would also give them a bad name.
Nana Faith. Hello, Nana Faith.
Yes, yes.
Nana, I mean, the football fraternity, the FA and Mr. Nyantakyi themselves have, you know, I mean, Houdini in Ghana. I mean, they escape everything. We've heard so many stories and allegations and, you know, alleged wrongdoings, but somehow they always survive, or, you know, they keep going. Do you think they'll be able to survive this one? I mean,
yes, we should be able to stop. We have to, you know, let the public know that at this stage, there's nobody who is guilty or not guilty. You know, the president came out to say that he has alleged that Kwesi Nyantakyi has said 11111. You see, and because of that, he asked the authorities, the official authorities, to handle the case. You see, so until this time, I don't see anybody who is guilty or not guilty. I heard my friend there talking about Zapata. Zapata, after the allegation, he was tried, fully tried, and lots of his people were dismissed, and some of them were fined. You know, Zapata's case is a little different from his case. Zapata was given a chance to defend himself, and he was pronounced guilty. You know, so his case is a little different from this. You know, what I'm saying right now is, look, I'm friends Nana Akufo-Addo, the president, is a very good friend. Kwesi Nyantakyi is a very good friend. And I think right now the public is being unfair to them. Try this thing on radio, and then, some of them will come up, and then what they say about them, now it's becoming too political. Now they are putting politics into the whole thing, which I think is not in a good taste. It's in a bad taste, so far the laws of this country is concerned. So this is about time somebody has to put his foot down and say that, look, the man, we can do this thing anytime, on an face, we saw you with this man, or on an face, we saw the. It's only the court that can say this man is guilty or this man is not guilty. So until then, why don't the politicians shut up? Why did the public kind of call it, and then we'll find out exactly what becomes the end of it? Because we are discussing this discussion is too much. We want to use the radio to judge who is wrong and who is not wrong. Because the interpretation is becoming much too much. This is about my 15, 18 radio stations that I'm talking to today. And I wish we'll find a way to really give them, both of them, a chance. Nana Akufo-Addo is a lawyer. Is one of the top lawyers in this country. We cannot run away from that. And he's also a president of this country. And after he saw the thing, I don't care how he saw it and who saw it and who saw it. He is the president. And this is privileged information. He is the president of this country. So he saw it and he didn't take the law into his own hands. He came out to say that, look, I've heard this thing about this gentleman. And then I don't understand it. So I'm calling the CID people. They are the official people, the official department that can handle this. So he called them and says, please, I heard this. So handle the situation for me. And they are doing it. So what's so big deal about this? What if the FA come out to tell us, and the man is still our president? Nobody is saying that he's not our president. Nobody is saying that he has been dismissed. Nobody is saying that. Look at this scenario. We talk about FIFA. The first thing that everybody in this country, everybody who follows football knows that is FIFA says government should not interfere with day-to-day running of football. Is it not so? Is it not? Mm-hmm. Now, when we were going to South Africa, who was the leader of the delegation? When we went to Brazil and brought all this mess, who was the leader of the delegation? At that time, why did people get up and say, people say you can't do it, people say you can't do it, and they did it? Who were the leaders of these two organizations? When we go to South Africa, Ekwa Danswa was there. When we went there, Priyanka was there. Were they not part of the government? So why are you saying that they cannot interfere with day-to-day running of this thing? This is the reason I'm saying that we should let people know what is happening in this country, so far as the football is concerned. And then we'll take it from there. But if we sit down here and assume that FIFA says we give you a blank check, you can draw any money that you want on it. Anything that you want to do, you can do it. I don't think FIFA will say that.
Thank you. Let me come to the studio. This, you know how, like, Nanafis is talking about, trial by media, and trial by media now has become one of our cultures here. If your matter comes up, you will be tried, judged. If you're not careful, you'll be sentenced by media. Now, if on the 6th, they are going to show this documentary, and in the documentary, president is going to be mentioned. He's got privileged, information by having to view this documentary ahead of time. Is that not the best thing to do, to say, look, CID, go and check this thing out? So let me remove my mouth, as you say it in Ghana, remove my mouth from his. I go and ask the man when he gave me the money, because if they air it and leave the speculations to go wild, it becomes difficult. Could this be the reason why this action has been taken?
I find it a little bit difficult. I think that it should have been done the other way around. After the public has viewed it? Yes, because the public, don't belittle the intelligence of the public. But when they view and they know this is it, and when the president comes out and says, oh, my name was being dropped, or people were trying to use my name to take money under false pretense and say this, So I am making a complaint. And my ministers or people around me, their name are also involved. You see, the president, whether he likes it or not, is a political person. He belongs to a party. There is an opposition party. People would always want to read in between the lines. Right. That's where I started from and said that, look, if everybody views it and said, no, this is wrong, you will even see the public sentiment say, is this what this man did? Is it true? Let the investigation start and find out. People will be. That's why I said that if now he had seen it, he had the privilege. When it is shown, and you think, so is it because of this that you said
saying that after the president sees this clip, he should sit quiet for the whole nation to watch and then after react?
No. The president would have, even without coming public, and tell the investigative people that, listen, I have seen this. Start your surveillance, start your investigation. And after it is read, he now says that, look, I'm making an official complaint. Make sure. By that time, they will have gathered some evidence. Right? But coming public to say that this is what I have seen, it's a privilege that I was given. So, what was the conversation? Did he breach that privilege between him and maybe Anas? And people say, look, I'm showing this to you. If you remember, I think that with the customs, when it happened during the late Atta Mills, I'm sure he had the benefit of watching all this. Investigation and other things started undercover. And you remember when he went to I think the customs head office and the port and said, these are the things happening. These are the things, how can customs, it had been shown. Right? That takes out the mistrust and suspicion that
no, but this one, his person had been touched.
Yeah, it has been touched. It has been touched. That's why I'm saying that publicly. Now, when your person has been touched, and so, this is, everybody had seen that this is what. So people would be expecting that the president must act now. People will be expecting, if he sits down and says, my name has been mentioned. But for now, people don't even know what the facts are. They don't know what is in within. That's why I said it's a developing story. So that is when he will have to even show his anger, his wrath, and said, no, you cannot use my integrity for this. I won't not. But for now, we don't really know what is there. It's only few people. All we are hearing is about conjecture, that this was said, and we cannot act based on conjecture or what people have fabricated and said. We believe this is what is in the video. That's why I said I'm a little bit worried that maybe these steps were taken. If we had hastened slowly, all the facts will have come and we have been in the public domain, people would be angry. At least if you have used the presidency, if it is true, everybody has seen that somebody has used the presidency to drop the president's name for the benefit of eliciting some. People would have been very angry.
This is Africa. Every politician is perceived corrupt. What he said is not as if it's something that can never, ever happen. So it's a dicey area. It's very strange, and this is Mr. Nyantakyi, who's a big clout. If he's saying that, listen, I can do underhand dealings, I'm not saying it happens, but it's Africa. There's a possibility that, hey, there are underhand dealings going on. So if your name is being mentioned in an era where things are, it's like a policeman. Everybody says, policeman, man, 2 cities, man, 3 cities. So maybe you haven't even given a policeman 2 cities before, but it's all over. So if a policeman's name is mentioned that you were given 2 cities, you probably need to come out quickly and say, look. You prove that you gave me the 2 cities, or
Now, on the flip side of it, what I'm saying is that maybe the president had seen it. And our culture, the cultural underpinnings, where they will now involve some big chiefs, some pastors, others, to try and influence or go and plead. It might be the reason why they feel that, look, I don't even want to listen to other people who come in and say we are coming to plead, that this is our son, he's been doing this for us, don't do it. That could be one of the reasons why the president will think that, look, after seeing it, let me even put it in the public domain, so that nobody comes to me and come and say, oh, he's our son. I'm not faulting.
No.
You see, yes, these are things that went, in the midst of governance. A lot of things come in. There are invisible hands which would come. People would want to say, look, don't do this to this man. He's our man. Is this, So, who knows what was before the president, the information he had, that would make the reason why he would have acted this way. I'm not just faulting that he acted this way, but we are just discussing it and saying that, look, if that is the reason why he did this, people behind will fault him because they are not privy to the information he's had. So until we see the documentary, we will now understand why maybe the president acted this way.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. Now, when I come back, I'll come back to you. I just want to find out from you two if you think that the president should have waited for the nation to see, or once he saw it, he should have gone straight and acted. So we're coming straight back. Well, thank you very much for staying, and we're looking at the GFA and matters are rising. Hello, Nana, how I got you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Very good. Nana, which part do you belong to? Do you think the president should act now or should have waited for the nation to watch the documentary before acting?
My brother, you see, we have what is supposed to be and what it is.
Mm-hmm.
At this case, we don't want to go by what we're supposed to be. I'm not an Akufo-Addo.
Mm-hmm.
The gentlemen, my brothers and sisters who are in the studio now, they are not Akufo-Addo. They are not Akufo-Addo. And if I heard one of the gentlemen, if I heard him right, he was saying that people versus Akufo-Addo. No, it's not people versus Akufo-Addo versus Nana Kwesi Nyantakyi.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get that thing straight. And it would be naive. I would be naive to sit down here and think that if I were the president, if I were him now, I'm not fit. I will handle the situation differently. He saw it, and we don't know when he saw it. We don't know how long it took him for him to come out. I don't know what he did before he came out. He saw it, and appropriate time to him, he came out. That's what it is. He came out to say it. So who am I, or who are the gentlemen in the studio there to say that if I were him, I would have waited 3-4 days? If you ask somebody else, you are saying, if I were him, I would have waited 5-6 days, 7 days, 8 days. This thing, we are not Nana Akufo-Addo. The case is between Nana Akufo-Addo and Kwesi Nyantakyi. And the reason why the thing has been so big is Kwesi Nyantakyi happened to be a president of Football Association, and Nana Akufo-Addo happened to be the president, the sitting president of the Republic of Ghana. That's why this thing I'm saying that this thing is very serious. It has come out. All of them are big people in this country, especially the president. His name has been used. He does not understand it. Don't let us use radio. We can discuss it, but the way it's going, the whole day, yesterday and the whole day, the way it's going, to me, some people are using it to judge the case, which we don't have the right. We don't have the right. We don't have the right tools to use and judge the case or anything. So we let the CID people.
Now, thank you. Now let's move the conversation though. Anthony Kabu was invited today, Deputy Roads Minister, because he was also mentioned as a go-between all these allegations, and he was invited. Parliament wasn't happy. Let's hear what some of the MPs were saying.
This issue is not about saying members of parliament are above the law. We got the indication that our colleague was being invited by the police in a matter of GFA. Our background check suggests that we know the speaker himself and then the first deputy speaker were out of the jurisdiction. The second deputy speaker was the one in the chair. So we sought to get the clarification as to whether our colleagues' rights are being ignored. Indeed, you listen to the speaker saying that as of the time I raised the issue on the floor, he was not aware of any official communication either from a court or from the police requesting the appearance of our colleague. I'm a member of the opposition. That doesn't mean that I would support any attempt to take out to ignore the rights of any citizen. It doesn't matter whether our colleague is in NPP and I'm in NDC. What the Constitution says, we must all respect the Constitution. And once again, we encourage the state institutions, the police especially, to actually adhere to what the Constitution says.
Well, there's also another argument. What's the procedure? What's happening here? What's the legal? Can you call an MP to come and answer something? Because an MP, 90% of the chance will either be going to Parliament or be coming out of Parliament.
Yeah, yes. Then I wish the law was like mathematics, that 1 + 1 could be 2, but law is not like that. It depends on the interpretation and the understanding and appreciation of the provision. I think it's all borders around Article 117, where it says that where it's a civil or a criminal process that has to be served on an MP or out of Parliament, then you need to, it says the Speaker, member, even clerk to Parliament.
Before we go into the nitty-gritty, should he be called because his name was mentioned? I mean,
no, that's why we're saying that the video, we haven't seen it, right? And I'm sure that the facts that are developing that we would see, the facts may give a clue that he was one of the people who was also involved in doing that. So maybe they've asked him to come and assist them to what does he know about what had happened. I believe that is it. Now, this provision, that's where people say it needs to be interpreted. Others will tell you that it is clear. What is the definition to say that when he's on his way and out of Parliament? When is there the fine line to say that he is not doing the work of Parliament? Because when you even go for conferences, you go for committee meetings, you are working for Parliament. I've heard several arguments which says that it says that out of Parliament or any court process, the Speaker had to be. What is the underpinning reasons why we have that provision? If you go into it and I listen to the second Deputy Speaker, it is just to harmonize the relationship between the executive and the legislature. They know definitely a member of Parliament may commit some crime or infractions of the law. However, what is the protocol that is being put in place is that let the Speaker be informed. So what do the police, the other institutions have to do? It will get to a point where the executive will say, what the hell does the legislature think? We have the power. Legislature would also say, we have the power, we make the law. So if you look at some of this law, and if you go to the proposals, it's just I didn't bring my proposals, will tell you what was the reasoning why we have such a provision. I see it as a provision that has been made to harmonize those two institutions, so that each will have mutual understanding and respect for all. That when the executive needs somebody who is a member of Parliament or Speaker, some courtesies. It's not that you are not going to answer for any crime or anything, but some courtesies will be extended through the Speaker of Parliament. Who the Speaker of Parliament would say that, look, I'm waiving that immunity for you as a member of Parliament. Go and answer. I believe that that is what they were saying, that yes, it should be done in their view. Others are saying that that provision over there says that when you want to serve a process, a proceeding from court, civil or criminal. Now this is a criminal, maybe a criminal summons. It's not a criminal summons. It's just an invitation to the member of Parliament. They feel that this is I think it's one of the provisions that we would see. It's the Supreme Court that has the power. We've granted them that power, that It is them that can only interpret the Constitution. So, I hope that one day it may come up and somebody will take this to Supreme Court for the Supreme Court to interpret. But we have series of this, for every government that comes, the executive will think that we want to pick somebody who is a parliamentarian. You see all the I won't say cacophony because that's too harsh. You see all the lamentation that people say no, pass through the proper procedure and other. So for me, I think that so far as it doesn't spoil anything, it doesn't detract when you send a letter to the speaker and say that we want this member of parliament to come to assist us. I think that should be a procedure that has been adopted for some time now until we get this. That does not mean that when an MP is caught in an action there and there in the eyes of the law enforcers, they would say that this crime, until we go to the person can be arrested, then the speaker is informed and say that this is what your man, so we want you to hand him over to us. Just like within the military and the police, that when they find a military man who has committed, they take him right to their unit commander, and the unit says that we want him to assist us. So those are some of the things that I think we need to respect. It's about mutual respect for all the institutions. So it should not be a matter which will say that you did not give us that respect, so we will also come back in equal measure. Okay. Until this is interpreted and understand, I think the established procedure should be followed.
Let me take a couple of comments that on Facebook. Bright Davis Ni Mustafa says, why are some of you angry? If a whole president, vice and deputy chief of staff plus deputy roads minister are allegedly in his pocket, would it be too surprising if the whole executive committee that he controls to equally be in his pocket? Akpalu Akpa says, God bless the thinking of advanced countries. By this time, the accused would have resigned to clear his name, but you see Bongo man with the Bongo mentality whose credibility is in Kuala Lagoon, still hanging on to power. Black Coffee, you are the only beautiful princess who can do that. And then Emmanuel Kumatia says, a fly that follows a corpse and refuses to leave even when it's been sacked will finally find itself buried with a corpse, a Ghanaian proverb. And then Abil Ali Abbas says, you can say whatever you want, but the good citizens of Ghana are calmly waiting for the full Anas video, and I hope when the video is out there that you know your levels. No wonder up-to-date Ghana Premier League isn't attractive because corrupted leaders within the GFA. Let me go to the phone and to Nana Fitz. Nana Fitz, there were some allegations made to the referees with some little sums of money and girls to coerce them. Is that what happens within the fraternity, or is just an allegation?
You see, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know too much about when it comes to law and then this thing. See, if I heard you correctly, allegation is allegation. Any way you look at it, until they say even if an armed robber comes to your house and you shoot him, you don't have the right to shoot him, even though he's in your house. You don't have the right to shoot him. You don't take the law into your own hands. What I'm saying right now is, first, I would like to appeal to the parliamentarians to at least be fair to both of them. This is not CPP. This is not CPP matter. This is not NDC matter. This is not we know, we the people who does football in this country, we know exactly the position that football is in now. We know that. But this one here, my point is, you see, we are taking the law into our own hands. Somebody probably will have some bad things deal with the president, and you will see this opportunity. He's not a lawyer. Whatever you say, whatever we say on the radio, it's not going any place. It's for people to hear.
Let's move away from this GFA Nyantakyi tape business. But I mean, we're talking about bribery of referees. Is it a problem within the football fraternity?
Oh, it has been a problem. It has been a problem for a long time. Everybody knows that.
Okay.
So let's let's be sincere about what we are discussing. Referee bribery has been. There was even a time that the president came out to say that, look, he has said that the referees are taking bribes and all these things, and he advised the referees to take the money when somebody comes to you and take it. And then from what the last tape to the president told them, Kwesi told the people that Ghana referees are very easy to deal with. If you give them 20 cities and give the women, they will do that. So bribery is in Ghana football. We cannot run away from that. It's a fact. We can't run away from that. Bribery in Ghana football. But look at this scenario. We talk about referee bribery it's only the football administrators, the people who own teams, the team owners. They are the people who are giving bribes to the referees. And in this country, about 60% of the teams the 60% of the teams are owned by the FA people. Because before you become FA member, you have to belong to a team. So the teams belong to them. They say somebody's giving bribes. So would I go and give bribes to somebody's team when they're playing match? This is the reason why I'm saying that the constitution of this country, to take a second look at it. Look at how many ministers for the past 6 years, maybe 4-6 years. Look at how many ministers. Are you telling me, is anybody going to tell me that the ministers, all of them were no good, or all of them were crooks? No. The constitution that they are operating on is very difficult. So my brother, whatever it is, we have to go to the root.
Thank you. Nana, thank you very much. Because of time, I will have to end it here and sum it up. 30 seconds. Interesting times ahead.
Oh, very, very interesting times. But
what open and close case or technical?
Oh, I think that when we get a fact, it will make it clear whether it will stand the test of time or they won't be able to prove anything against him. At least you will be able to know where the facts and everything is clear. But I also believe that with this referee things that, look, you are a chief. If your mother is dead and you say she's sleeping, when it starts, you yourself, you realize that, yes. So if GFA itself thinks that these allegations are being made, it's rampant, and people are having the perception that there's something corrupt, they themselves must sit down and have an introspection and say, no,
thank you. 024-366-2001, 024-366-2001, Tanti's Fashions. They make my shirts for the show. Give them a call and get yourself a nice shirt. But thank you very much to lawyer Victor Adawudu and Nana Fates who joined us on the phone. It's been very insightful. Well, thank you so much.